All my life, I believed that the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were the most romantic wonder of the ancient world, until I discovered that it was all a 2,400-year-old mistake, and that the real garden was 500 kilometers away, built by a different king for a completely different purpose. In the year 600 BC, King Nebuchadnezzar II supposedly built in Babylon a massive terraced garden with enormous trees suspended in the air to ease his wife Amidas's homesickness for the mountains of Media. Water was lifted from the Euphrates using screws and pumps operated by slaves 24 hours a day. All Greek and Roman authors describe it as an extraordinary wonder. But when archaeologists excavated Babylon for 100 years, they found absolutely nothing. Zero infrastructure for anything like this. No massive terraces, no enormous columns capable of supporting tons of earth, no unusual irrigation system. Just Nebuchadnezzar's palace and the classic ziggurat. So, where did the Greeks get this story from? Why did the entire ancient world talk about this garden if there's no physical trace of it? In 2013, Oxford University researcher Stephanie Dalley published a bombshell book that shocked the academic world. The garden was never in Babylon, but in Nineveh, the capital of Babylon's mortal enemies, the Assyrian Empire. She analyzed hundreds of cuneiform inscriptions, reliefs, and archaeological evidence that had been ignored for centuries. The Assyrian king Sennacherib, who reigned between 705 and 681 BC, boasted in his inscriptions that he built near his palace in Nineveh a wonder for all peoples. A massive park with artificial terraces on multiple levels. He brought exotic trees from all over Asia, cedars from Lebanon, cypresses from Persia, olive trees, palm trees. He built a 50-kilometer canal plus 18 massive aqueducts to bring water from the northern mountains directly into the heart of the desert. He invented and cast in bronze screws over 2 meters long to lift water to a height of 20 meters. These screws were physically found by archaeologists in the 1930s. In Sennacherib's palace in Nineveh, a stone relief was discovered that shows exactly the garden. Overlapping terraces, massive columns, large trees growing in the air, water channels flowing above people's heads, even an impressive aqueduct in the background. Identical to the descriptions given by Greek authors centuries later. Coincidence? Impossible. The Greeks came to Mesopotamia only 300 years later, in the era of Alexander the Great. They heard legends of an incredible garden, but Nineveh was already a destroyed ruin, covered by sand and forgotten. Babylon, however, was famous, still standing, and very impressive. So, they put the wrong garden on the wrong map. They attributed the wonder to the most famous city they knew. This is what it actually looked like. An artificial green mountain rising in the middle of the Mesopotamian desert, with waterfalls and aqueducts suspended overhead. Imagine walking through Nineveh and above you seeing water flowing through stone channels, enormous trees growing on artificial terraces, intense green surrounded by yellow desert. An engineering spectacle that surpassed anything of its era. So yes, the Hanging Gardens really existed. But not in Babylon, not for wife Amidus, not built by Nebuchadnezzar in Nineveh. For the glory of the Assyrian people and Sennacherib, completely destroyed in 612 BC, when the Babylonians and Medes burned Nineveh to the ground in some of the fiercest battles of antiquity. The supreme irony? The garden was destroyed by the same Babylonians to whom the Greeks attributed credit for building it. So next time you hear about the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, you know you're actually talking about the greatest geographical confusion in history. If your mind is blown, hit like and subscribe. Next week we're debunking another wonder of the ancient world. Leave in the comments which wonder you want us to investigate.